Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And let's see. We have a few people online and more joining. That's wonderful.
Your volume
My
on your
name is,
audio is low,
Toni
Toni.
Barrient. And I'm just curious, how many people are here for the first time?
Toni, we can't hear you on Zoom. Your volume is
Okay.
very low.
How's this volume? Is this better?
It sounds better.
Okay, hold on. Alan, can you hear me now? I'm not getting a response from you. I guess you can't hear me.
Okay, I can hear you now.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
you can hear me now. Wonderful. Okay. So I'm still trying to figure things out, how to do hybrid. So have people in the room and have people on the internet at the same time. And I'm using Alan, can you highlight audience in the room as well as me? Okay. All right. I have a lot. We had a few people come in since I asked how many people are here. Okay. So there's, okay. I'm just not going to be able to do that. Welcome, coming in. Good to see you. Hi, Ken. All right. So the recording has started. This meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on the chapter's YouTube website. Okay, probably in a few days. This room has a hearing loop for those people who know what a hearing loop is, and you have T-coil equipped hearing aids. Now's the time you can switch to T-coil and you'll be able to hear me directly. Okay. Captions are on the screen, as you can see. I'm going to try to keep them there for you. And stream text. I want everybody to know about stream text. So when you got your agenda, there on the back of the agenda, there's something called a QR code. And what I would like you to do, if you have a smartphone, is open the camera on your smartphone and center the camera on the QR code.
Toni, can you move a little to the right?
You'll get a pop-up. It'll say streamtext.net, or it'll say show options, or it'll say open in browser, depending on whether you have iPhone or Android. And when you do that, you'll have today's captions on your phone right now in real time. So this is a way to see the captions personally on your smartphone. Okay. Does anybody need any help with that? You just open the camera and answer whatever question they ask you. All right.
I'm on my computer And how can I see the
This
cat?
is a hybrid meeting. You have a question, Ken? So Ken is suggesting if you have it open, you'll see text better if you hold it landscape instead of portrait, landscape. It'll be wider. You'll see more text. Okay. I want to give some recognition here before we get started. I want to recognize Katie Wright. I don't know if she's online or on Zoom. She contributed significantly to the slides, many of the slides, not all of them, but many of the slides I'm using today. Katie and I, along with some members of the Long Beach chapter and the City of Orange chapter, did a presentation to audiology students at Chapman University. And we've done that 2 years in a row. So some of the slides I'm using is what we were doing to teach audiology students what we want as consumers, what our concerns are. Okay, what they need to learn. Next, I want to recognize Jo Gale, who is our captioner. She's a captioner in real time. She's sitting at home, or she's in her home office in Chicago, Illinois. And when she hears me, she is typing what we're saying, providing captions. I also want to do a huge shout out to Dan Noel, who is the husband of Ann Mundell Noel, audiologist, who helped me get through the setup. He was a cameraman for CBS for many years. So he helped me with the technology so that the Zoom people could hear me, we could hear them, and we could put it all together. I had some dry run meetings in a smaller meeting room in the administration building, and it wasn't really great. So hopefully this is better. And again, I'm pioneering in this, and we'll work on making it better. Alan Katsura, he is my co-host. He's hosting online for me. He is assisting the attendees in the Zoom call. And he's also my webmaster for the Mission Viejo Chapter website. Daniel Boone, volunteer extraordinaire for over 10 years. Brej Kabashian, he's my technical setup in this new situation. Joyce Alderson, helping with the refreshments. We have coffee and tea and a cookie. Help yourself. And Jacqueline Lazar, who is going to start helping me with sending out reminder emails, meeting emails. Officers of the chapter. I'm the president. Jeff Chess, where are you? There he is with his hand up there. He also brought his credit card swiper. We're taking donations with your credit card. We are a nonprofit, 501c3, and depending on your tax status, you may be able to deduct donations. And we certainly need that. Judy Mandel is the secretary. She couldn't be with us today. She's playing bridge over on the other side of the building. So Monday didn't work out for her, but she still works for us behind the scenes. Okay.
Toni, will you move to there you go. Now you're right in the middle. That's good. Before we're losing you.
I'm right in the middle. Oh. Okay. So who am I? Why would I be standing up here doing a presentation on hearing loss? Well, First of all, I'm a person with a hearing loss. I first recognized my hearing loss when I was about 40, after being in denial for many years. I was working and struggling and totally terrified that I would not be able to make a living because I wasn't hearing. Believe it or not, I was a telemarketer, and my customer base was mostly Spanish. So accents and hearing loss don't work together very well. Anyway, no more of that. I worked in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Washington, D.C., for the Hearing Loss Association of America for almost 10 years. And we are the Hearing Loss Association of America, Mission Viejo Chapter. I was the Director of Membership and Chapter Development. Presently, I'm the chapter president for this chapter. I'm also the Southern California State Chapter Coordinator. So I work with San Diego, Long Beach, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles chapters. So I help keep them going. I hold a monthly meeting for all the chapters in California, once a month. I live in Laguna Woods with my 15-year-old rat terrier mix rescue dog. Her name is Phoebe. So that's what you got about me. Okay. Here's a disclaimer. HLAA Mission Viejo does not endorse a single product or service. This meeting is intended to provide information, education, advocacy, and support. Having said that, we do have sponsors, and I do need to name them. But it's still not an endorsement. First of all, Caption Call, who provides landline phones that caption, and they also have an app for your Android or your iPhone that provides captioning. And they actually sponsor Joe Gale, who is our captioner. So they pay for the captioning service for this meeting. And we're very appreciative. Two more sponsors, Amazing Hearing, which is located in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Laguna Hills. Audiologist Ann Mundell Noel. She has been an audiology advisor for my group for 11 years. When we first started out here in Laguna Woods, we were the Hearing Well Club, and we only just started, we just merged with the Mission Viejo chapter for a couple of reasons. The Hearing Loss Association offers a lot of information and assistance to run a chapter, and they also provide the chapters with nonprofit status. So, and why did I say that? Oh, okay. So Ann Mundell, for 11 years, has been the audiology advisor. And just recently, joining her practice is Dr. Gabriela Rodriguez, and we like to call her Dr. Gabby. She's here with us today. Let's talk just a little tiny bit about the national organization. They're very important. It was founded as Self-Help for Hard of Hearing People in 1979. So they've been around for 45 years. And they're the only nonprofit organization that provides information and advocacy and support for people with hearing loss on a national level. They are nonprofit and information, education, support, and advocacy. Couple of things they do that is really big. They put on an annual convention, usually have 1,000 or more attendees, This year it's on the West Coast in the sense that it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. Now I realize that's a little drive, but most of their conventions have been on the East Coast or Florida or Texas. So this is coming up in June 26th through the 29th. And so you ask, well, why should I go to a convention of hard of hearing people? So let me just give you a couple of things about what they do. First of all, they have a very well-known, engaging, high-profile keynote speaker to open up the general session. They have a research symposium every year. The topic for this year is going to be the emotional side of hearing loss. And there will be presenters from professionals who will be presenting on the emotional side of hearing loss. They'll be coming from all over the United States to present. There will be workshops. There'll be a whole slate of workshops. Every workshop will be something about surviving hearing loss, coping with hearing loss, hearing aids, cochlear implants, anything that you can think of. There will be a workshop about that. Each workshop will provide captioning and will have a hearing loop. There was also going to be an exhibit hall, and this is like Santa's toy store for me. It's huge, and you'll be able to touch, feel, and demonstrate many hearing assistive technology items. You'll talk to manufacturers of hearing aids, cochlear implants, amplified phones. All of the wireless carriers will be there, and it's just so much fun to go to the exhibit hall. If you don't want to register, take workshops, or be involved at all, you can go to the exhibit hall at no charge. You do have to go to the registration desk and get a pass. So even if it's, you can just drive down to Phoenix, Arizona for an afternoon and come back. If you're a golfer, take in some golf. It'll be wonderful. It's going to be in June, so the weather will be warming up. Not too warm, though. So there's more information about that on the hearingloss.org website. One other exciting event that we have, and this happens every year, is we have a walkathon, Walk for Hearing. And I don't have an exact date yet for June, but it's always been in June. And unless they change the location, it's going to be in Long Beach. And many of you maybe don't want to have anything to do with a 5K walk. It's 3 miles. Maybe you don't want to do that. But if you would consider coming and be a cheerleader for those who walk, you get bagels in the morning and pizza in the afternoon and a lot of clapping and cheering. You'll see a lot of children there with hearing loss, wearing cochlear implants. I just invite you to come and be part of the hearing loss community that's outside of it. And it's just a lot of fun. Okay. Let's talk about the California State Association. So California has an affiliation with the national office, and they too provide advocacy. They put on webinars. They have put out information. They're actually trying to get legislation passed. Right now, what we're talking about is we would like legislation that would require sports bars, restaurants, airports, doctor's offices to have captioning on their TV screens. Every place in public that there is a TV screen, we would like to see captioning. And it's not that big a deal, except they have to be twisted. You have to twist their arm to do it. You've got to have legislation. So that's one of the things that we're talking about in our meetings. And during the pandemic, they supported the chapters. They normally don't go that far, but they did. And they were formed in 1984, and they have their own website. Okay, so now let's talk about chapters, which that's what we are here. So we have This offers peer support. We have some people in this room who have gone to a lot of meetings. Before the pandemic, when we were the Hearing Well Club, we used to have 50 to 80 to 100 people every month. And now we're just building back. We're just, we're filling up the room here a little bit. That's good. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of the people that were here. I used to have 12 volunteers. Natalie is one of them. Anyway, so we'd like to get these people back. So if you know somebody with a hearing loss, this would be a good place to come and learn what you don't know and that you need to know that you won't get from professionals. Okay, so it's a good idea to make personal connections. If you're going to be buying hearing aids, talk to somebody else who has hearing aids. Why do you like those? Who do you go to? You have people to talk to. Most people with hearing loss don't talk to anybody. Or you may wind up talking to somebody who says, oh yeah, they're in a drawer. They should never be in a drawer. They just not getting the attention they need from the professional that provided them, or they don't know that they can go back and get that attention. We talk about that in this meeting. We talk about how to deal with situations, family that won't recognize that you have a hearing loss. They just assume, you turn them off. So sometimes that is the case, but a lot of times it's not. Restaurants. Restaurants are terrible if they're noisy. It's really difficult. So we talk about how to deal with that. Tips for surviving in a restaurant. Doctor's office are notoriously bad. Unfortunately, many of them have staff that has thick foreign accents and they talk too fast. If it wasn't for my caption phone, I would really struggle to talk to my doctor's office. And we need to learn personal and community advocacy. Personal advocacy is being able to say, I really want to understand everything you're saying. So if you could speak a little bit slower, I'll understand you better because I have a hearing loss. And you'll be lucky if they do that. And if they do that, just wait another 30 seconds and they're right back up to speed. So you have to advocate for yourself. You're the one that needs the information. So advocacy, we talk about having more confidence to speak up and advocate for yourself. Okay. So how many people are we talking about? Okay, so about 20% of Americans, 48 million, have some degree of hearing loss. That's a lot of hearing loss. Of those, 1 million are deaf. And we're talking about people that were born deaf and learned sign language. We don't do sign language here. We really serve the community that has late deafened hearing loss. So you acquired it sometime in your growing up, but you had hearing at some time. In any case, you speak, you're verbal, you don't use sign language. So 20% of teenagers or young adults 17 to 25 have a hearing loss. And I'm sure that's growing with a lot of music. 2 to 3 out of every 1,000 children have a hearing loss. And school-age kids, 15%. 60% of people with hearing loss are either in the workforce or in an educational setting. Ooh, that's tough. At age 65, we're looking at 30% of the population. At age 75 and over, 50% have a disabling hearing loss. So from the social services department here in Laguna Woods, in the marketing department, they say that the average age here is 76. And so I would say 50% of Laguna Woods residents have a disabling hearing loss. That's a lot of hearing loss. Okay. So here are some hearing loss issues. First off, here's what's working against us. Distance. The farther you are from me, the fainter you get. The closer I get to you, the better I can hear you. Reverberation. I'll tell you, a lot of the meeting rooms in Laguna Woods have a tremendous amount of reverberation. So the sound goes out and it bounces off the walls and comes back. And that really doesn't help us to hear at all. Background noise, so leaf blowers, dogs barking, boom boxes, no good. Speech clarity is a real problem. There's a lot of people who don't speak clearly. So we need speech clarity. All right. Hearing aids are not everything. Hearing aids work best in a 6 to 8 foot distance. And so if you were to do a fist bump, so Reg, do a fist bump with me. So hearing aids work good about this distance. Beyond that, depending on your hearing loss, and believe me, there's a variety of levels of hearing loss. I have a profound hearing loss. Some of you may have a mild hearing loss. The treatment or how you take care of that is completely different. So we talk a lot about that. I'll be talking about
This mic is not on or it's not working at all.
This is not on? Oh, this one. Okay, this one is actually talking to the Zoom people. This one is talking to people in the room. Okay, thank you though. I just have to work with 2 microphones. Masks, huge problem. Not only is a mask a problem, but somebody who's wearing a mask behind an acrylic wall, like at the bank. Does anybody here have a problem with that? Yeah, okay. So I wear a little button, so it says here, please face me when speaking. I am hard of hearing. So I just try to wear that wherever I can. And so people try to understand and they can ask me about it. Let's talk about communication access. So can anybody read that? Anybody want to try? Who's speaking? Okay. So it says understanding speech with hearing loss is like reading a page with holes punched in it. It takes longer to process the conversation and it is exhausting. You probably experienced that. So lip reading helps. Turning up the volume sometimes helps, sometimes it's not helpful. Asking for clarity, sometimes just asking somebody to speak slower, they will speak clearer. And captions are always helpful. Okay. Working adults and hearing loss. So there is surveys done. There is a reduced job performance and earning power when people have a hearing loss. They don't get the raises, they don't get the promotions as much. And really it can cause depression. People can be very upset. They avoid or they withdraw from social situations. They don't go to the water cooler where everybody's kibitzing as they don't understand what's being said. And so it can lead to social rejection and loneliness. I know in my work situation, I would sometimes ask somebody to repeat something. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. And they say, oh, it's not important. Oh, forget it. Wow, that's like a slap in the face. I'm not participating in that communication. There's diminished psychological, cognitive, and overall health issues and exhaustion. So things can be done. So let's talk about some solutions beyond hearing aids, because we know that hearing aids can be part of the solution, but it's not everything. Oral rehabilitation. So I'm going to read this. The reduction of hearing loss induced deficits of function, activity, participation, and quality of life through sensory management, instruction, perpetual training, and counseling. This is usually done with a speech pathologist. There's a longer title. Dr. Gabby, would you come up here for just a moment? Dr. Gabby is going to be doing our program next month, and she's going to talk about oral rehabilitation and exactly what it looks like, sounds like, and some of the success that people have had. Well, I'm hoping that she'll be able to get somebody who's been through oral rehab who can talk about their experience. I've asked her to try to get that. Can you come over here and this is Dr. Gabby.
Hello, everybody. What would you like me
Oh,
to go into oral rehab?
A
little bit?
Yeah, what are you going to talk about next month?
Yeah, so next month we'll kind of do an intro into oral rehab. In December, I did a presentation as well that kind of scratched the surface, but we're going to do a deep dive into what oral rehab is, why hearing aids are great, but there's more that you can do. We use the analogy a lot of being in the gym. Your ears and your nerve and your brain need to work out. Oral rehab is like doing strength training. Well, hearing aids are your cardio. They work together to get you the best hearing and understanding, taking it the next level that you can.
I'm looking forward to learning more about that myself. Okay. Lip reading. We used to have lip reading classes through Saddleback Emeritus program, but that instructor retired. I've got some information. I'm going to be focusing a little bit on lip reading in a newsletter I'm going to send out, and I have a couple of resources. They're all online. A couple of resources where you can join in lip reading instruction. Lip reading is really good. It can make the difference often to read somebody's lips, but you have to train a bit. So always start with a beginner's class, never jump in. If I give you some resources and they're in the middle of an intermediate or an advanced class, wait for the beginner's class to start. Hearing assistive technology. So you could say that hearing aids are hearing assistive technology, but again, we're not talking about hearing aids. So assistive tech is really critical. Hearing aids are not like glasses. Hearing loss is not completely fixed by hearing aids. So there are amplified alarm clocks that can wake you up. They can be screaming loud. They can actually have a bed shaker so that your bed will shake when the alarm goes off, especially if you're a sound sleeper. If I take off my cochlear implant and my hearing aid, I would not hear a screaming alarm. That's me. Smoke alarm. Would you hear, if you didn't have your hearing aids on, would you hear your smoke alarm? A lot of people need help with the television, and there are assistive devices. As a matter of fact, there are many hearing aids that come, you can get them with a TV adapter so that sitting across from your TV, it communicates directly to your hearing aids. Wonderful, wonderful. You could have a hearing loop. There's a speaker phone. There's several devices that you can hear the television better and save your neighbor from complaining about your loud TV, if that's the case. Some people don't hear the phone ring, so there are amplifiers for the phone. There's lights flashing. I have a whole house notification system. I've had it for quite some time. It's really old. So I have lights flash, my bed shakes. If somebody rings my doorbell or if my phone rings, and I even have something connected to my fire alarm so that smoke alarm. So if it goes off, it wakes me up, flashes a light. There is technology available. So alerting devices, okay, I tapped in on this. They can be really loud, they can be a light, strobe, or they can vibrate. And some of them do all three. So how do you know if your alarm or smoke alarm is going off? And what about your doorbell? So this is a system you can put your smartphone on, and it comes with a bed shaker, and you can use this for your alarm. You can use this so it'll wake you up. There are speakers that are connected to a special doorbell. Many people here in Laguna Woods have a special doorbell that you press, and it's connected to a speaker that alarm goes off. There are booming alarm clocks, ring doorbell. I have a ring doorbell. I love it. I just love it. I can see my deliveries. Somebody try to steal my packages. I got them. The Orange County Fire Authority, when they have the money, they offer special smoke alarms that connected with a bed shaker for your bed. So, but they don't often have the money. So you have to get a hold of the Orange County Fire Authority and see when they might be available again. I've had them present for us when they've been in the money. Okay. They come and install it and instruct you as well. So how do you use your phone? Or is there anybody here that doesn't use a phone because of their hearing loss? You're all using your phone, good. So I use it for doctor appointments, customer service, friends, family, work. And again, they can come with an amplified phone, cordless. This one is available from California Phones. They have a new name. Bluetooth is wonderful for working with your hearing aids. And this is the captioning phone here. So, and many phones connect many hearing aids connect directly with Bluetooth phones. Bluetooth connects the phone with the hearing aids. So caption phone companies, Clear Captions, Caption Call, CapTel, California Connect. You should probably check out California Connect first. You can, any of them are good. These programs are funded by a small charge on your phone bill. And California Connect is actually used to be California Phones. They're part of the California Public Utilities Commission. So they offer their service through the Public Utilities Commission. So here they are. And they offer communication assist for many disabilities, not just hearing aids. So people with mobile issues, people who just deals with speaker phones, automated answer the phone, saying answer the phone. There's many devices that are available for a variety of disabilities. Also, they provide instruction. Bring your own phone, your own Android or iPhone, and learn how to use it. Now, mostly that is on Zoom, but I can find out more information now that people are meeting in person now. They may be offering that in their Santa Ana office. So anyway, I've held many. How many people attended a smartphone class with the hearing? Okay, hearing well club. Yeah. Okay. Apps. Okay, so if you've got a smartphone, there's InnoCaption, Caption Call Mobile, Otter. I don't know what NowScribe is, and ABBA. So InnoCaption and Caption Call Mobile are the apps that I'm most familiar with, and they're excellent. They're excellent. If you've got an iPhone and you want captions for your phone calls, iPhone and InnoCaption will show you both sides of the conversation. So not only does it tell you what the party says, but it also shows what you said, and you can save the captions on your phone. They haven't come out with an Android version, but that's coming. So if you have an Android phone. Chrome. How many people use a Chrome browser? Okay. Did you know that you can go to accessibility settings and turn on captions so that when you're browsing on your Chrome browser, you can have captions. Yes. And also on iOS and Mac, it looks like they have that as well. Just want to show you. I can get this set up really quickly. I have a Android tablet here. And one thing I'm going to demo. Don't touch the screen, but you can pass this around. And this is automatic voice recognition. And it is literally captioning everything that I say. I have an Android phone, and I run that on my phone when I go to the bank and I need to hear what the teller is saying. And it is captioning exactly what they're saying in real time. It's not 100% perfect. They misspell things, and sometimes they really misspell things. But this is called Google Live Transcribe. The developer of this program was actually somebody that was deaf, hard of hearing, that worked for Google. It's been around for a long time. They've perfected it, and it's just really great. Okay. Let's talk very briefly, this is my favorite topic. I could talk for an hour or more about induction loops or something called a hearing loop. So I mentioned when you first came in the room that this room is looped. And if you wanted some, to reduce the background noise and just hear me more directly, you could just turn on the telecoil in your hearing aid and hear it directly. But unfortunately, many audiologists will provide hearing aids and not tell you that you have a telecoil. It needs to be activated. You need to ask them to activate it. Now, a lot of audiologists or hearing aid dispensers will say, you don't need that. Bluetooth is everything. No, Bluetooth is not everything. Bluetooth works one-on-one. It doesn't work in a room, in a courtroom. It doesn't work in a meeting room. It just works one-on-one with the computer and your hearing aids, or your phone and your hearing aids, or your TV and your hearing aids, but does not work in a large room setting. You can get, if you're in the market for hearing aids, ask if a model is available for your hearing loss that has Bluetooth and telecoil, and many do. But you have to ask, and don't let them tell you you don't need to. Don't let them tell you it's ancient. And okay,
Somebody.
It got turned,
that's okay. We got it back to got it.
and we didn't get to this side at all.
Okay. Somebody, you want to show this to the Zoom people? Just hold this up for a couple of minutes or just for a minute. Yeah, so let them see it. Okay, so Bluetooth is not a substitute for telecoil. And I have information on the literature table there about what a telecoil is and what a hearing loop is. Can you go a little bit closer? A little bit closer, right up to the camera. A little bit more. Okay, so there it is. So it's just translating in real time. You can buy an unlocked phone used. I never throw away my Android phones. I erase all the data on it and I pass it along to somebody who's got hearing loss and say run it on Wi-Fi, and you can ride. You don't have to sign up with a carrier. You just run it on Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Fred. I hope you guys could see it. So there's other technology available in a classroom, a lecture hall, courtroom, or church. And that's called FM systems. And it requires that you wear a headset in a little box. Sedgerston Theater has it. The courtrooms, Orange County courtrooms, if you're on jury duty or if you have to hear, you can borrow a device. Better than not hearing. Churches are not required by the American Disabilities Act to provide anything in the way of accessibility. However, many churches in this community have a hearing loop. So the Presbyterian Church, St. Nicholas is the most recent one, the Lutheran Church, Grace Hope, the synagogue on Moulton near Pete's Coffee. Anyway, and that's all from efforts from people like you and people like me. There are 13 hearing loops in Laguna Woods Village. I have managed to get most of the clubhouses looped. Clubhouse 1 is going to be undergoing significant renovation, and I was not aware of that. Now that I'm aware of it, I'm all over them about putting a hearing loop in when they put in the new floor, because that's what the hearing loop is. It's in the flooring. So, and I've already been told that Clubhouse 5 and 6 are in the budget in the spring to have the main rooms looped. So please, if you're getting hearing aids, please be sure it's got a telecoil as well as Bluetooth. And if you don't know if you have a telecoil, you need to ask. Ask your audiologist. You may very well have it. You could be using it right now if you knew you had it. So, okay. Let's see. CART, Communication Access Real-Time Translation. That's what you're getting right now. You have a live person sitting at a machine that's similar to a court reporting machine and is providing captions in real time. And that's what they use in courtrooms. Every time you see a court reporter who is captioning. Little bit different than captions. What you see on TV, many times, news stations are live CART reporters. But post-production, movies and stuff, you see much better captions because the captions go in after the recording is done. So movies and special shows, but most programs, especially live news, those are in real time and you see a lot of mistakes. So. But anyway, it happens. Oh, can you come up here? Well, no, that I think we need both. I got to figure this microphone situation.
It makes some mistakes. It's a little delay, so it's you have to kind of bear with them.
You see, that's what this live transcribe. Yeah, I know. So people in the room didn't really hear you. Okay, I'm going to have to glue these together. Whoops. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I just turned it completely. Don't talk, just hold. Let me screw this back in. All right, here we go.
That snaps in.
Okay, there you go.
So I was just saying that some of the programs are using artificial intelligence now to transcribe the captions, and there's a little bit of delay in there, and they do make some mistakes. And so the context is very important in paying attention to what's going on and instead of just reading the captions, because they do make some mistakes.
Thank you. So if you go to the movie house, like the Edwards Theater and Aliso Viejo, you can actually check out what looks like in the top right hand, there's Sony glasses. And if you check it out and wear those, you'll see the captions in front of you. So, but you have to turn in your license and, you know, and those captions are provided post-production from the movie studios. There's another type. It works in the cup holder. I don't know if you can see. So there's a theater out in Laguna, Miguel, that uses that. Zoom offers the same kind of captioning that the live transcribe. It's AI, but it has to be put in settings. You have to say show captions. Now, not everybody's going to see the captions. Individually, you choose whether to see it or not. You've got to click on the CC and get it. Okay, moving on, because I really want to try to wrap this up, keep it as close to an hour as possible. So I just talked about automatic speech recognition. We're also calling that AI. So it works with Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. So there's my information. There's a card over there. I did not provide a copy of my presentation because I was tweaking it up to the last minute. So, but if you would like to have a copy and you would email me for it, I would be more than happy to send you a copy of my presentation. And most of the things that we talked about are topics that we go in depth with. I just told you that there are assistive devices. I just told you there are captions. But how to get that? What would be good for you? And will you talk about that in regular meetings? So I'm hoping that you will become a regular attender and learn something new every time you come. You're not going to hear most of this from your hearing aid provider because they don't have time. They don't have the knowledge necessarily, and they don't use it themselves. And you can get this information from us collectively and by presenting about it. So how many people are going to continue to come, learn a little something new? What I want to do is I want to avoid you buying hearing aids and they wind up in a drawer. And never buy them on the internet. Please don't buy them on the internet. Ken Post is a hearing aid dispenser. He is going to talk to us in March. He's going to talk to us about over-the-counter hearing aids. But you really, even with over-the-counter hearing aids, you don't want to flush your money down the drain for something. You're not a professional. You don't even know what level of hearing loss. You need to have a hearing test, minimally. Find out where you're at. And did you know that some over-the-counter hearing aids have a telecoil? Wow. And if you get, so if you get something like that, you definitely want to get a telecoil model. Maybe cost a little extra. So now I've got some questions to ask you. Is there anything here that anybody is frustrated about that is caused by their hearing loss? Anything? Can you think of something? Sorry. Can you?
Just give me the one phone.
Let's have you come up with it. I'll try to come to you.
One thing that my mom and I have been talking about recently is we had that page that was up about, that talked about holes in the page. And for a while I did some work at a performing arts center. We had some assisted listening stuff, so I know a little bit about it. And what sometimes happens when there's holes in the page is we fill in that context with a context from a different meaning or a different generation. And I've noticed that recently, that it's really important to understand all the words in the context, because words are used to mean different things in different generations. And that can be, it can be very frustrating.
That sounds like a caregiver issue. Could be. Okay. Anybody else have? I saw another hand up. Good to see you, Chantal.
Listening to the literature in a long time. I was just saying, I wanted to add to what you were saying. We have a lot of people over the holidays, and a conversation comes and say, "Can you repeat yourself?" And they say, "Never mind." I mean, that's the biggest problem, you know, because I think they mean well, but they say, "Oh, it's not that important," but then we still locked out, you know. So I think it's just, we have to be advocates for ourselves and let people know. It took me a long time before I was able to tell people, "I can't hear you." My mom would say, I would play it off and laugh. And then they look at me like, "What are you laughing about?" You know, maybe I said something sad, and it's important to be advocates. I do. Yeah, I work in both years. Yeah.
Anybody else have a comment? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you come up here? I want the Zoomers to see you. Come on over here. Right over here. All right.
Because 50 years ago, I had a two co-worker, they were married and they were deaf. Their husband can say some word, but get deaf later on. And then I asked him, how do you wake up in the morning? I said, we have a light, we program that, and that flashes in the morning, so we know that we have to wake up. Is it just for fun?
So that's what we talked about earlier, having alarm clocks that will shake the bed or the strobe light. 50 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, it's been around. How come we didn't know that? So, okay, I got another question. What would you like stores to know, retail stores to know? Or do you know any stores that are hearing loss friendly? That was my question. Do you know any stores that are hearing loss friendly? One of my biggest frustrations, I'm just going to share right off the bat, is the recreation department here in Laguna Woods Village. My frustration with them, they know me. They've known me for years. I'm always in their office. I'm working with the committees that decide on the hearing loops and assistive devices and all of that. But when they decide to have a health fair, do you think they invite me to have a table? Guys? At no time are they thinking about people with hearing loss. And I don't like the word hearing impairment. I know a lot of people use it. I don't even like hard of hearing. I just like people with hearing loss. So they never think of us. Just not even thinking. I have this sign. Oh, it fell over. I have this sign here. It says, please switch your hearing aid to telecoil mode. I would like that inside the room. So when you're sitting here, I want it posted on the wall. The boardroom is lubed. Some of the board members use the hearing lube, but they won't put a sign that is recognizable. They put a nice little painted one. I want it to look like a parking placard. I want it to be blue with the white, and I want people to see it so that they know that it's available. They won't do it. But they might do that if we replace it. We need to make them more aware of our needs. Anyway, I need some help with people working with me on that. Okay. Last question. Is there anybody here who has hearing aids in a drawer somewhere? They've given up. Not replaced with new ones. Okay, nobody. I'm surprised. All right. So I am going to ask you. Yeah, I'm just going to let you see everybody here. See who's out there. Do we have any questions from, okay, Alan? I'm sorry.
I don't really have a question. I just want to make sure that the audience there can hear the Zoom participants.
Did you hear that?
So
For some reason or another.
so yeah, so the Zoom participants are not able, or the audience out there cannot hear us. Is that correct?
Okay. I'm going to have to get down the well. What's that?
He's asking if the audience here can hear him. Alan, we cannot hear you
No.
in the room. I think it's only coming out
So
of
this is,
the laptop speaker, which I could hear very softly. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah.
Alan, is that anything? Did that do anything? No?
I don't know.
Testing 1, 2, 3? No?
And I might have a solution for your microphone problem. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I think we see the issue, Alan, but right now it won't be solved. So
yeah,
I can hear him through here, but your laptop's not connected to the house speakers, but we can work on that. But has questions, if they want to type it, we can maybe pull the up so the audience here can see them.
Yeah, there's nothing there right now.
Okay, good. So no questions.
No questions. I thought I saw some. There's 14 chats. Okay. I guess I'll have to read it later. Any chance of getting the Laguna Playhouse looped? They're not my friends. Sorry to say. I have talked to them pre-pandemic, and maybe if they have new staff, I'll go back down and talk to them. Is there a chapter serving in San Diego? Yes, there is. Currently, they're only meeting on Zoom. Okay. The San Francisco Bay Area walk. They're going to have a walk for hearing up in Northern California. That's going to be in May. One time, Marlena, who is sitting here, Marla, she and I flew up to Northern California just to participate in the walk. Right, Marla? I think that was their first walk. Yeah. Or it wasn't a walk. It was an exhibit. Yeah. Okay. Well, now, does anybody here have any questions that they came with? Anything at all you'd like to talk about? Before we say goodbye for now.
Of hearing, or not even hear, is the danger. Like if something is approaching you and you don't hear them, is there any device body can working on the street and a car from distance come and they just get off road coming to take me? If I hear the noise, I can go away and save myself. Is there any way then that would be a warning for others, or maybe we can for that?
You want to turn this into a Tesla, huh? There's nothing that I'm aware of that is aware. There's some cars that are built. It doesn't have to be a Tesla. Daniel has a Honda, so you can, if something gets too close to the. So, but as far as people walking on the street, you know, having a sense that they're being approached, you just have to be vigilant. Hear the best you can, get the best hearing aids you can, get the best fittings that you can, and keep your awareness with you at all times. And it's a good idea to always use the buddy system. Always, you know, have somebody with you if you can. Yeah. Both of you be on the lookout. Okay, the next meeting is, I think I wrote it on the agenda, is the 12th. The 12th of February, and be sure and sign up If you didn't already, with your email address, so I can send you the meeting notices. Okay, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Ellen.
I have a question. Sure. If people use a headset on a room that's moved, can you still hear them? Does it?
We offer them here for people who don't have hearing aids or people who don't have.
But I mean, if they don't use a microphone, they walk around, the speaker walks around on those headsets.
One of those things
Yeah.
has to be connected to the sound system, to the PA.
Okay.